Hello, good afternoon, class. So, you are given a task to configure the switches and routers of this topology, and today I'll be providing a solution for that one for this activity. And here's the components that I already prepared, and let's start with assigning the cables for each of every component here. So for PC to switch, I'll start with straight through and just assign it to the switch. Okay, now from switch to router, I'll use gigabit port. Okay, so as you do notice, the ports are not visible for this option. I prefer if you go to the option preferences and check the always show port labels in logical workspace. So after checking that one, you will notice that the ports are visible always. So this helps you in configuring the ports for your topology. Now let's do the same to all of our PCs. So next, so for the routers going to the switch, I'll always assign gigabit 000 so that I will not be confused when I'm configuring them later on. So there. Okay, so for the routers, I'll use crossover. Assign. Okay. Oops, since that's already exhausted, uh, if the ports are not present for the routers, go to the router, turn this router off first, then add the glc-t, drag it to the interface or the interface of the router and turn it on. Okay, so do this to all of the routers so that they will be added another port. Okay, there. So there go. Turn the router off and turn it on again. Okay, so next you will notice gigabit 2 there, and 1 to 1 and 2 going to 2. So as you can see, that's how I assign the cables to my routers. Okay, now first things first is that you're given a IP address for each of these routers. So for visibility, let's put them here. It's 10.10.10.0/30 here. For this side is 20.20.20.20.0/30, and here is 30.30.30.0/30, and here is 30.30.30.0/30. Okay, and this side, this topology is 192.168.0.0/24, and here is 192.168.1.0/25. This topology is 192.168.2.0/26, and this topology is 192.168.3.0/27. Okay, so that's my topologies for each of these network. Now For best practices, I always put .1 for the router. So this will be 192.168.0.1/24 for the router number 1 going to the switch. So for the switch is 192.168.0.2/24, and for the PC, this one I'll assign 192.168.0.10/24, and for PC number 2 is 192.168.0.20/24. Okay. Next, for router number 2 going to the switch, I'll assign this 192.168.1.1/25, and for the switch I'll assign 192.168.1.2/25, and for PC number 3 is 192.168.1.10/25, and for PC number 4 is 192.168.20 .1.20/25. Okay, so that's done. And for router number 3 going to switch number 3, this one I'll assign 192.168.2.1/26, and for the switch is 192.168.2.2/26. For PC number 5 is 192.168.2.10/26, and 192.168.2.20/26 for PC number 6. Now, that's IP address ready to assigned to each PC. So for router number 4, assign 192.168.3.1/27. For the switch is 192.168.3.2/27. For PC number 7 is 192.168.3.10/27, and PC number 8 is 192.168.20 3.20/27. Okay. Next, for router 1 going to router 2, I'll assign this one is 10.10.10.1/30, and for router number 2 is 10.10.10.2/30, since I already assigned that one in the router number 1. Okay, let me just fix this one. Okay, there. Next, from router 2 going to router 3, this will be 20.20.20.1/30, and this is 20.20.20.2/30. Okay, so for router number 3 going to router number 4, I'll assign this one 30.30.30.1/30, and for the other side is 30.30.30.2/30, and for router number 4 going to router number 1 is 40.40.40.1/30 and 40.40.40.2/30. Okay, so that's the IP addressing that I assigned for these routers. So let's start the configuration. I'll start with PC number 1. So go click on the PC number 1 desktop and assign the IP address 192.168.0.1 10. Since this is /24, the subnet is 255.255.0. So don't forget to add the default gateway. Done. Go to PC number 2, do the same. So PC number is the 20. Just don't forget to add the default gateway. Okay, I'm done with PC number 2. I'll do PC number 3. So PC number 3, the IP address that I assigned for this one is 192.168.1.10 here. So since this is /25, and don't forget the default gateway. Okay, so do the same. If there you go. So I'm done with PC number 4. And now I move on to PC number 5. So since this is 2.10, I'll add 2.10 there. Okay, since this is /26, this is 192. Okay, add the default gateway. Okay, for the PC number 6, this is 20, and don't forget the subnet mask and the default gateway. Done. Now move to PC number 7. Okay, PC number 7 is, oops, I think I made a mistake there. So this is 2, not 22. There. 2. Let's, I just noticed that one. Okay. Okay. PC number 7. This is 3.10. Okay. There you go. It's 3.10. So since this is 220/27, this is 224. Done. Okay. This is 20, and subnet mask is 224. Okay, don't forget that one. Okay, next. Let's configure the switch. Let's start with switch number 1. So what are we going to configure in the switch? Go to the configuration. The first thing that we need to configure is the host name. So I'll assign switch number 1 here, and I'll copy this command. Oh, hold on, sorry. Host name, switch number 1, enter. Now I'm already switch number 1. I'll add switch number 1 configuration on my notes. Okay, next, what else? We need to do a banner. So banner MOTD. So I'll just put a warning sign and a delimiter. So after this one, I'll just copy this config and add it here. Okay, next, what else? Enable password, right? Enable password, and the password that we're going to use is cpnet1 with number 1b, right? So I'll copy this configuration, enter it, and there. Okay, so next thing is line console 0, and after line console 0 is password. What's the password that we're going to use? This one as well. Let's copy that one, paste, don't forget to log in, and we're done. Next is line pty 0 to 15, password as well, put the password and log in. So done. Now I'll be copying this line. I'll just copy it one and paste it here. Why do I need to do this? Is because later on when I configure the other devices, I'll be using this. I'll be using these commands for faster configuration. Okay, so done. Next, what else? What else do we need to do is the password. service password encryption to encrypt our password, right? Copy that one. Okay, next. What else? We need to configure our VLAN, right? Interface VLAN 1 IP address. It's 192.168.0.2 and the subnet mask. Okay, and don't forget the no shutdown. So as you can see, VLAN 1 has changed state to up. And what else that we need to configure? Our default gateway. IP default gateway is 192.168.0.1. Why? Because this is the default gateway going to our router. So if we move this one, the router's IP address is our default gateway always. Okay, so enter that command. Next, I'll copy this. I will copy this command so that I can use that later. Okay. So here, no shutdown. I'll just add exit there so that I can add the next command. Okay, so we're done configuring our switch. Anything else? How do we know that it is already completed? As you can see, if we go exit this one, a password is being asked, and also our banner is there. Okay. Next, let's move on to switch number 2. The best thing that we can do for our switch number 2 is to edit the configuration from switch number 1 that we copied earlier. I'll just copy this configuration by changing first the host name to switch number 2, the IP address for switch number 2, and the subnet mask, and also the default gateway. Now done. I'll copy this one. I'll copy this configuration, and so earlier I accessed the switch through the CLI. You can do that, and you can also use the console going to your switch. Access the switch via terminal. Okay, so here's the overview. See, now this is the switch. Go to the global configuration mode, and what I'm going to do is I'll just paste the configuration that I copied from the notes here from switch number 1. I'll just change this switch host name and other parameters. Okay, so I'll just paste that one, and now switch number 2 has been completely we already configured switch number 2 with all the parameters. Okay, oops, I think there's a misconfiguration here. This is 128. That's 128. Interface VLAN 1. Okay, I'll gonna change that one. Okay, so okay, there, it's up. So that's switch number 2. So if we check that one, switch number 2 is there. If we exit and exit again, oops, here, oops, enable password. Okay, okay, so it's done. So going back to switch number 3, change this one, the host name, and change this one to the network of switch number 3, and since this is slash 26, and there. So I guess this is all complete. Copy it, go to switch number 3, go to the CLI, enable, configure terminal, and just paste the configuration, and done. This is already switch number 3. Okay, going to switch number 4, change the parameters, the IP address 224, and there. Copy it, go to switch number 4, CLI, enable, connect, and paste your configuration, and done. Okay, that's complete. So we have successfully configured our switches. Okay, so if you notice, that is the IP address of our switch plus the correct subnet mask for each of our switch. Okay, now how can we configure our router fast? So since router does not use VLAN, what we could do is that we can just use the basic configuration for the routers and reuse our configuration earlier. So I'll go to router number 1. I'll use again the CLI command, and for the initial configuration of router, just say no. That's our best practice, and go to configuration terminal and paste our command. Done. That's router number 1. Using this banner, using this password, and they are all encrypted. Okay, go to router number 2, do the same. No, enable, connect, and paste. Oops, don't paste that first. We need to change the host name to R2. Okay, copy that one, go back to router number 2, paste that one, and complete. So change the host name again, go to router number 3, CLI, no, enable, connect, and paste your configuration. This is router number 3. Done. So go to router number 4. This is router number 4. So no, on the initial configuration mode, configure terminal, and paste your basic configuration. So done. Now let's go back to router number 1. So let's check how many interfaces that we need to configure. So we have 3 interfaces. Let's start with interface gigabit 000. Now for interface gigabit 000, we have this network that is connected to this one, and the IP address is 192.168.0.1. Don't forget the default gateway 0, and don't forget the no shot command. So done. Now as you can see, from red it's now green, and later on the connection will be established. So next let's move on to gigabit 0001. So we could assign 001 here. Yes, IP address, since we have IP address of 10.10.10 network, and IP address that I'll be using here is .1. So 10.10.10.1, and the default gateway is 252, and no shot command. Next, another interface that we need to configure is this one, gigabit 002. I'll assign again gigabit 02, and the IP address for this one is 40.1. So I'll just change 40.2. I mean, I'll change this one 40.40.40.2. No shutdown, since they are on /30. That's faster. So we're done configuring our router number 1. Let's move on to router number 2. for router number 2, we have 3 interface. So I'll start with gigabit 000, and the IP address for gigabit 00 is 192.168.1.1, and don't forget the subnet mask, it's 128, and no shut. Okay, so next is gigabit 001. Gigabit 001, the IP address will be 10.10.10.2, since I already used 1 for the router number 1. For router number 2, I'll use 2, so 255.255.255.252, and use no shutdown. And as you can see, it is now turned to green. Next is our gigabit 02. So router 2 going to router 3, and we have assigned 20.1 here. So let's change this one for faster configuration 1, and issue the no shut command. So done. We're already done configuring our router number 2, and let's move to router number 3. So for router number 3, we have three ports or interface that we need to configure. And here, let's start with gig 000, and since this is 192.168.2.0 network, put the IP address and 192.168.2.1, and put the default gateway is 192. No shut, and that's done. And we also have router 3 going to router 2, that is interface gig 002. Let's do that first. Gig 002, and the network or the IP address is 20.2. So 20.20.20.2, 255.255.255.252, and issue the no shut command. Next, let's issue the interface. Let's configure the interface gig 0001, and for this one we assign the 30.1. So 30.30.30.1, and issue the no shut command. Okay, we're done configuring router number 3. Let's move on to the last router, that is router number 4. I'll start with gigabit 000, and as you can see, we have the network of 192.168.3.0. So 192. Issue the IP address 192.168.3.1. So don't forget the subnet mask is 224. No shut. Next, what interface that we're going to configure first is the interface of gigabit 001, and the IP address from router 4 going to router 3 is 30.2. 30.30.30.2. So 255.255.252, and don't forget the no shut command, and that's configured. The last is our interface gig 002, and assigned is 40.1. 40.40.40.1, and issue the no shut command, and as you can see, all of our interface is now configured. Okay, that's /25/26/27 and /24. So how can we test? Go to command prompt, ping the default gateway 192.168.0.1. So as you can see, it's working from PC number 1. Let's go to PC number 4 and ping our default gateway. Ping is 192.168.1.1. As you can see, it's working as well. So how about PC number 5? PC number 5 going to router number 3, 192.168.2.1. So it's working as well. How about PC number 7 going to our default gateway of our router 4, 192.168.3.1. So as you can see, it's working. Okay, so that's how we configure our network with this topology. Hope you learned something, and see you again next meeting. Bye for now.